It seemed that they seem to argue that by including the word terrorist groups in a perambular paragraph, that this would cover all of the groups that we were referring to. And I wanted to give you a chance to what wouldn't that cover?
That would not cover. That would not cover because, again, you know, the terrorists sometimes, they're not after taking power. They are about just killing. That's different. There is a specific reference to non-state actors as elements who are after taking over or destabilize politically countries. They have political objectives to destabilize the countries, and that is the reason why we felt it's important for us to use.
Do you think it's a trend? I just want to ask one other question. Do you think it's kind of a trend of the Council not listening to the three African members? I'm thinking of when former President Chissano wanted to address the Council and they said no. What are the other examples, and what do you think can be done to have the African continent be listened to more by the Council?
That's another problem. This is, again, this has to do with the whole reform of the Security Council. You know, when there are countries which have views, either we find a compromise, a way to you know, include, take into account, you know, their views. If you don't, then there is a problem with the Council. We feel that it is more and more important that we speak with a voice which can be heard. And this was, again, the three African countries, and not only. This was a view expressed by the whole membership of the African group, African countries, which adopted a decision yesterday on this specific question also. And that is exactly a way of passing the message to the Council that it is important to listen to the views of all the members.
Two examples of arming and how you think this resolution applies to them. One was the airdropping of weapons into Libya. I remember at the time there was, you know, with parachutes, airdropped weapons were thrown into Libya, and now there's discussion of an arm and equip program in Syria for the Free Syrian Army, which seems to be a non-state group. I don't know how do you think this debate and the resolution that's passed applies to those two situations?
No, I think we are not aiming just at specific cases, you know, in one or two countries. We are talking about all the situation. It could happen in any other countries, and it's not good that we could allow to state or non-state actor to provide arms to insurgents or armed group to destabilize, you know, the countries. And what is going now on in some part of Africa and the Middle East, it is the case. That's why we are concerned. But our aim is, so we are not, we are speaking on global situation, not only regarding one or two countries especially.
Yeah. But on the Libya, just look at the impact of this. You spread arms, you airdrop, you know, arms which fall into all sorts of hands. All that we are seeing, it is exactly with these arms that we see the spread of terrorism in most of Sahel. Look at, this is a terrible impact. This is not to be done. Arms are to be put in responsible hands, not to be put in hands which can be used, can use those arms for the acts that we see widespread. Look at Kenya. Just what happened in Kenya just a few days ago. You know, I think we have all the interest to deal with this question in a very clear, square manner. We're not aiming just specific cases, as you have mentioned. We are saying that mere, spread of small arms, which are so easy to carry, even children can use them. So that's the very reason why we're not. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. The African ambassadors made a pretty, I thought, compelling point, which is that if the resolution is intended to benefit their continent or their countries, it might seem like the fact that they're not voting for it, something went wrong. I mean, what they said is that they feel strongly, in the case of Angola, Chad, Nigeria, that they wanted this reference to non-state actors, and they tried to give a carve-out for private security companies or whatever the other side wanted.
If I may,
the problem
it
there?
is not private security companies which are killing, maiming, raping, and recruiting children. We don't have any cases like that. The problem not exactly. But the problem is that you have terrorist groups, you have ISIS, you have Daesh, you have whatever you call these guys, you have Boko Haram, you have the offshoots of these groups, you have local terrorists, you have criminal gangs which work together with the terrorists. In a marriage of convenience, you have transnational organized crime, which is very closely linked. These are the guys who finance and who provide arms to kill and maim and destroy. Not some nebulous non-state actors, not private contractors, not some mystical agencies or firms or units. We know very well who are the key actors, and all of these key actors have been included in this resolution. We would have gladly included pirates, we would have gladly included traffickers, smugglers. Such proposals did not come along in our discussions, and therefore these are left out. But we did include the key actors who are doing the worst, the most horrible, horrendous crimes and human rights abuses and atrocities.
Would you think, just the same example that they were asked about, like the airdropping of weapons into Libya when Gaddafi was threatening Benghazi, is that the kind? Does this fly under this resolution, or the train and equip of the Free Syrian Army? Is that okay?
I hope you can have time to look through the resolution. The provisions are very clear, what we want from the UN system and how we want it done. I'm not discussing the things of the past. With this resolution, we're looking into the future. We do have one resolution, an excellent resolution submitted by Australia. We think time has changed. The terrorist threat has increased since the adoption of the resolution, and therefore we focused with such great strength on practical ways how to prevent, how to diminish the impact of the arms falling into the wrong hands. That's the purpose, looking into the future and helping. We cannot help the victims of the past, but we can help the victims of the future.